a show, a podcast show. Do not be obsessed with your obsession. Believe it or not, this is just an entertainment. Creepy tale.
Good evening to everyone who listening to Creepy Tales and would love to hear our Creepy Tales story. Today you will be following Freddy on a story which I'm gonna share with you guys throughout the nights, anywhere you are, wherever you are, whether you're at home or driving. So sit tight and enjoy the story. Here is a story about the Jakarta herring ghost. This story happens not in Singapore, but in Indonesia. As most people have heard, Jakarta in Indonesia has numerous places that are haunted and which are also well known in quite diversity in the type of ghosts. For example, the Pontianak, Pocong, and Tuyul, and others more. This time I'm about to tell you the story of yet another type of ghost called Gedung-Dowo. It was around 2 in the morning. As usual, I am still awake because of my bad habit, sitting in front of the computer, typing away just like what I used to do every night. I was looking at the window of my balcony as I was thinking, what else should I write for the economy report? When all of a sudden I heard a clanking sound. It seems like some drinks can had toppled over outside my balcony. It was rather windy, so I moved on. Around half an hour later, I heard like there was someone kicking a can. Outside my balcony, and I could smell this weird smell of this leaf called kemiri when burned. Okay, this kemiri is in English called a kedelnat, but in Indonesia they used to call it kemiri. So this is a plane that you can find in Google to look into it. And the smell of this kemiri is so strong. So I back to the story. So I decided to investigate. I creep up to the entrance of my balcony gently. I can feel a slight tingling feeling in my stomach, just like when I get nervous. I slowly open the door, pushing it little by little. I can only see the darkness of the night filling in the shade of my balcony. I tiptoe on the balcony floor with my toes slowly and slowly. and saw a can of paint on the side of the balcony, and suddenly, background, I felt something hovering over my back, whispering. I gently turned back, to my utter amazement of horror. I saw a huge creature. It was more than 2 meters tall. It was very big. It was pure black. I couldn't see its face as it was covered by its own hair. I just froze there for about 10 seconds. I was glaring at this creature. I was shivering in fear and went straight to the door of the balcony that leads to my room. As I ran, running in fear, I turned back, but the creature has vanished from the balcony. I just ran back in my room and turned on all the light switches. Then the creepy sound inside my blanket, and I shut my eyes as I could, fearing I might see the dreadful creature again. I've never seen that creature again until now, but once in a while I can smell its scent. As long as it doesn't bother me, I guess I'll be fine. This is my most scary moment which I ever encountered in my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please remember the stories that we share over here are just purely meant for entertainment purposes. Do not at any time take this seriously. And remember, always listen to Creepy
Hi, my name is Paul, not my real name. I've written this story to share about the close encounter that I had back during my younger days. I hope this story can be brought back to life by Creepy Tales. This mystifying incident happened to me, although there were others present too, but they weren't involved. 4 years ago, back in 2010 in Pulau Ubin. This small and might be the only natural habitat island of Singapore is well known to trekkers for spooky encounters with those from the other side. It has several rumored haunted spots on the island, which I personally did venture into some of them, which then begins my story. I came from one of the neighborhood schools in West Singapore, and I was 16 years old back then. You see, me, being a garang and kilat person, I volunteered to join the Hillary Challenge, an international competition consisting of various sports and adventurous elements such as canoeing, swimming, running, cycling, and even topography. And true enough, I was appointed as the captain of the 8-man and women's team. We trained almost every day after school hours. Being physically and mentally determined, my team and I went to Pulau Ubin for a 2 days 1 night camp training. You see, Pulau Ubin is a small island located on the northern side of the main island Singapore. This island used to have a bustling inhabitant of 100 families living on this island. But recently, due to the upgrading of lives, and the need to seek for better pastures, only 30 families now are left, still staying within the island. Let's share something about the island. There are basic necessities there, including a police post, a harbour for receiving boat passengers to and from the main island. There are even bike shops that are also available to cater for those who are into biking on the island. Back to the story. We were tasked to apply our camping skills, ranging from outdoor cooking to tent pitching, which will be used in the competition. Upon arrival on the campsite, we were all so famished and thirsty due to the strenuous activities that we have subjected ourselves throughout the day. But still, we continued to drag our exhausted bodies back to the water point and did our cooking after that. However, things started to get weird. Everything seems like the pre-signs of a disaster. First, few of us unknowingly consumed the contaminated water and food, which shocked all the rest of us. We did check the food and drink thoroughly, and it's definitely safe for consumption. But thankfully, my teammates were alright. We have brought necessary medication, thus, upon consumption and after clearing the containment out of our bodies, they recovered rapidly. Very soon it was dusk. But after a bad episode of the water issue, we were quickly revitalized after that delicious meal YK whipped for us. And guess what he cooked for us? Kimchi ramen with fresh mushroom. Wow, got kimchi ramen with mushroom Samoa. So good. I would never thought of that, but I definitely do now. Next time, kimchi ramen and mushrooms, you are on my camping list. Okay, let's get back to the story. So right after the meal, we had an hour of games, chit-chats, and mini campfires before our night training commenced. In the blink of an eye, it was already past 11. We were then briefed by our trainer regarding the night walk, which we were tasked to trek from the campsite to the harbour without any aid of lighting device or other forms of communication with the outside world. Chill ran down our spines. All of us were beginning to fear for the worst, that any ghostly encounters might be possible. However, we were determined to win the local selection and represent Singapore abroad. Eventually, we had hands together and started walking deep into the forest. Our hands were wet, not due to the humidity, but due to cold sweats. Our body trembled, not because of the cold wind gushing through the dense forest, but due to the fact that we are blind rid of any form of light to walk our way to the harbour. And for the unfortunate fact that we were all afraid of risks. Hell, you can say, we can barely see our hands in front of us, let alone our trainer. So we began our walk back to the jetty. After we had packed all our stuffs, we began our trip back to the jetty. As we were walking, suddenly, a sweet scent lingers around our walking group. There were 7 of us in total, and the group trainer was leading the pack. The smell was uncanny yet scary. It reminded me of the frangipani flowers. A heavy overflow smell of frangipani. Frangipani flower is in normal time a common flower due to its fragrant smell and is commonly used for decorations. Frangipani in another way is also being related to Pontianaks or lady ghosts, which in English term that is the closest that I can describe. With common experience of people smelling the flower scent suddenly in the middle of the night and having the sightings of these ghosts. Everyone was looking at each other with worried looks. Yet the trainer just continued to push on, oblivious to our knees shaking and teeth clattering. Just a few tens and 20 meters away from our destination, something caught my attention. Being the right-wing man in the team, I noticed that something was lurking in the bushes. Strangely, it made no sound, but my instinct told me it was the unexpected. I saw a white figure, partially translucent, wiggling like a caterpillar among the bushes. I wanted to shout out to everyone, but there's just something in me holding it back, as I wouldn't want to create chaos and panic around. I turned back to the direction and tried to strain my eyes again. Guys, I could have swore that I saw something floating in the middle of the air and suddenly disappeared. It might be a Pontianak, but I just wasn't sure. Then immediately after that, I started to hear a soft, very soft, faint woman's voice crying. Hey guys, whispering to my teammate, of course fearing that our trainer could hear me. Did anyone hear that? Hear what? I can't hear anything lah. Stop playing around with us, Paul. I'm serious. There's someone crying over there. I point out at the direction of the white figure. None of us can hear or see anything lah, Paul. Look, if you insist that's on you, but we all want to get out of here ASAP. This place is giving us the creeps, you know. Alan made his point, but as much as I hated him for not being able to hear nor see, I have to agree that we all wanted to get out of that place and reach for the harbor as fast as possible. Horror struck my mind that I was unable to subdue the anxiety and fear in my heart and totally forget our objective. I quickly looked to the front and tried to be oblivious. The girls in our group are starting to tear up, but still keeping it strong as we all move together in the total darkness. Dogs started to howl and bark throughout the journey, and this made no one to even dare to make a single noise or talk throughout the journey. As we ventured on, it was still complete silence everywhere. You don't see owls, you don't see fireflies, nor even clouds or stars above you. All you could see were towering dark trees and bottomless thick bushes. We dare not to talk, for we feared that something might just emerge from the darkness and frighten the living daylights of all of us. We just continued to move fast, walk fast, and hope to see any glimpse of light near the harbor. Yet that faint crying voice continued to linger around the darkness at the back. Luckily, our steadiness brought us far enough to see a glimpse of light lying on the ground. We know we are almost at the harbor. Slowly, we started to see a faint light creeping into the darkness, and we are able to make shape of the jetty. As we strutted along towards the light of the hope of the jetty harbor, questions keeps playing in my head. What in the living world did I just see, or hear, and smell during our walk back to the jetty? So how? Scary, right? Honestly, I think I also have similar activities like that during my school days, but this one really takes the cake. Okay guys, let me go for a short break, and I will let my partner to come in with another short story right after these messages.
remember the stories that we share over here are just purely meant for entertainment purposes. Do not at any time take this seriously. And remember, always listen to Creepy
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in with Mr. S and Creepy Tales. A story that was emailed to us by our listener. This story I'm about to share happened on the northern part of Singapore. We were moving out of our house near Khatib MRT. We are supposed to put our things temporarily at my father's friend's house by 10 p.m. Dad, where's the driver? How long more must we wait? It's already 11 p.m. Ali, be patient. I've already WhatsApped the driver. Let's just wait for his reply, okay? The driver replied. Good news and bad news. Well, bad news is his lorry broke down in the expressway. But the good news, a replacement driver is on his way now. So everyone, let's get prepared. By the time we reached my father's friend's house, it was about 12 midnight. As we had 2 full lorries of things, items, furnitures to be transported from Khatib to Yishun. Even though it's a short distance, but moving or shifting house in the wee hours is just tiring. My mom, grandma, and me sitting inside my father's taxi while waiting for them to finish moving the things up. Suddenly, I felt the sudden urge to go to the toilet. Mommy, I want to go toilet. Ali, now of all times you want to go toilet. Go, quickly go and ask your father. Say you need to go to the toilet at his friend's house. Just as I was about to open the taxi door, my grandma, who was sitting on the front seat, told me to keep quiet and wait for a while. Shh! Ali, sit down. Don't go out first. Then, my grandma spoke to my mom in a language I don't quite really understand. Anu, kau jangan tengok ke belakang ke? Ada deh hantu teh perempuan ni. Baca doa je. What it means is she's telling my mom that there's a lady ghost at the back of the taxi. After about 30 minutes, my grandma finally allowed me to go, but with the company of my mom. While walking to the lift, my mom saw another ghostly figure near the phone booth, just 2 pillars away from the lift. It was legless and it was floating, staring at us. Mommy, quick, get in the lift, close button. We went up to father's friend's house, and without second thinking, I went straight right to my father's friend's house toilet. My mom waited for me right at the lift area, trying not to look panicked. After which, I'm done. We didn't waste any time we quickly went into the lift and went down. Upon reaching at the void deck, me and my mom quickly walked back to the taxi. Later I found out that the ghost was actually or probably a Pontianak who wanted my mom as she was pregnant at the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please remember the stories that we share over here are just purely meant for entertainment purposes. Do not at any